They were people we know so little about. We don't know who they truly were, and perhaps we've never even heard their real story. These were the people who played football matches where the winners were sacrificed, who offered humans to their gods, and whose civilization was washed in blood. Their average height didn't even exceed 1.5 meters, yet they built one of the most astonishing civilizations in history. They never saw a horse, never forged iron, but somehow they created a world that still fascinates scientists to this day. This is not about myths or conspiracies. This is about the truth, the real story of the Maya civilization. Right now, you're re-looking at the Temple of Kukulkan in the heart of Central America, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Each of its 4 sides has exactly 91 steps. That's 364 in total. Did they forget one? No. The final platform at the top represents the 365th, completing the solar year. The 18 large steps at the base represent the 18 months in the Mayan calendar. The precision of their calendar was far beyond that of the Roman Julian system. The difference between the Mayan calendar and our modern one is only 17 seconds per year. Built 1,000 years ago, this pyramid and many others still hold secrets that leave us in awe. Before uncovering the mysteries of Kukulkan's pyramid, we must first understand the people behind it. The Mayas. They emerged as a civilization around 2000 BC in Central America. Although they lasted longer than most empires in history, they were never a single kingdom. Instead, the Mayan world was a collection of rival city-states, often competing with each other for power and prestige. The Mayans were exceptional astronomers. They mapped the stars, tracked planets like Venus, and aligned their cities with constellations such as Orion and Draco. The placement of every temple, every home, was dictated by the heavens. The brightest star marked the spot for the grand temple, the dimmer ones for the homes of common people. The roads connecting them were like pathways between the stars. But here's something remarkable. Before Europeans arrived, there were no horses or beasts of burden in the Americas. Every road was traveled on foot. Royal messengers could run over 50 kilometers a day, ensuring that distant Mayan cities remained in constant communication. Ordinary Mayans lived simple lives, but their cities could reach populations of over 100,000. In these streets, one might encounter dwarfs, considered sacred beings. They worked in royal palaces, often as attendants to kings. The small wooden statue you see here shows a dwarf holding a mirror, likely used to help the king dress and prepare for ceremonies. The Mayans were also pioneers in dental surgery. They performed the world's first known tooth implants, embedding gemstones into teeth during coming-of-age rituals. Painful, yes, but their herbal mixtures kept infections away. As a result, the Mayans had some of the healthiest teeth in the ancient world. They lived in harmony with nature, using animal and human hair to stitch wounds. Physically, they were short, around 150 meters tall, but their appearance was striking. Men and women decorated their bodies with scars, tattoos, and enormous ear ornaments. They flattened their foreheads and even induced cross-eyed vision, believing it granted divine sight into realms unseen by normal eyes. This practice led to elongated skulls, which centuries later fueled alien conspiracy theories, though in truth, it was a cultural choice, not an extraterrestrial mystery. Despite their intimidating appearance, the Mayans were largely peaceful. They valued balance and coexistence, but even they had a dark side, a ritual rooted in both religion and death. On the walls of their temples, carvings depict one of the strangest and most terrifying games in history, a sport where the winners were sacrificed. Played with a solid rubber ball weighing over 5 kilograms, the game resembled a mix of football and ritual. Players couldn't use their hands or feet, only hips, shoulders, and chests. The goal was to send the ball through a stone ring high above the court. When the game ended, the victorious captain was beheaded as an offering to the gods. His head was placed on a stake and later used in other sacred ceremonies. For the Mayans, Death in this ritual was not a loss. It was an honor, a passage to a higher world. Of course, not every match ended in sacrifice. Some were held simply to honor the gods or celebrate holy days. But the atmosphere of these games was divine and terrifying. The acoustics of their stadiums were so perfect that a whisper from the king's throne could be heard across the entire field. Modern scientists discovered that the limestone blocks contained coral and marine fossils intentionally designed to amplify sound. At Kukulkan's pyramid, the same acoustic brilliance can be experienced today. If you clap your hands at the base of the staircase, the echo that returns mimics the call of the sacred Quetzal bird, the symbol of the god Kukulkan himself. This is no accident. The pyramid's construction deliberately incorporated this sound effect. When priests clapped, it was as if the gods responded. During the spring and autumn equinox, sunlight descends along the pyramid's edge, creating the illusion of a serpent slithering down. The body of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god. Though depicted as a snake, Mayan texts describe Kukulkan as a white-skinned man who came from the sky, taught civilization to the people, and then promised to return. Was this a myth? Or could it be an ancient memory of contact with explorers from faraway lands, perhaps long before Columbus ever crossed the ocean? Some even believe this prophecy came true when the white men returned centuries later, bringing the Mayan world to its end. The Mayans believed that all life was a cycle, good and evil, light and dark, life and death. When Kukulkan appeared during the equinox and then vanished, it symbolized the cycle of rebirth, the planting and harvest seasons. But when the rains failed, the gods demanded more blood. Human sacrifices followed, their skulls displayed as offerings. The bodies of victims were fed to sacred dogs to complete the ritual of purification. Sacrifices weren't always forced. Many volunteered, believing it an honor. The chosen were often virgins or people born under rare signs. Their hearts were cut out while still beating, raised to the sky, and placed upon the altar. Others were thrown into sacred wells known as cenotes, where hundreds of skeletons have since been discovered. You may have heard of the crystal skulls, said to hold mysterious powers. But modern science revealed that they were 19th and 20th century fakes, crafted in Europe. Yet the true achievements of the Maya are far greater than any legend. They developed one of the most advanced writing systems in the ancient world, over 800 symbols, used mainly by the educated elite. Their base 20 numbering system allowed them to calculate in the millions, centuries before similar systems reached Europe. Sadly, when the Spanish conquered their lands, they burned their sacred books, calling them works of the devil. Only a few survived, hidden from destruction. The Mayans had no money as we know it, but cacao beans were used as currency. 10 cacao pods could buy you a rabbit. Their society was structured around family and faith, and crime was nearly non-existent. To harm someone, a Maya would instead harm that person's spirit animal, a unique creature linked to each individual. Today, in Guatemala, the ancient city of Tikal still stands, a city of 120,000 people built without iron, wheels, or animals to carry stone. Every massive block was cut, dragged, and lifted by human hands alone. The Maya proved that human willpower, guided by intelligence and belief, could create miracles. But no civilization lasts forever. Droughts, wars, and eventually Spanish invasion brought their empire to ruin. Millions were killed, enslaved, or lost to time. The white men they had once awaited as gods became their destroyers. And yet, the Maya are not gone. Over 7 million of their descendants still live across Central America, speaking their ancient languages, keeping their rituals alive. They are the children of the jaguar, the people who changed history. They may have fallen, but their name endures. They are the Mayans. If you're fascinated by hidden truths, untold histories, and the mysteries of global power, Subscribe to Abuti Academy and join us on this journey into the unknown. Because the deeper we look, the more we realize. The world is not always what it seems.